We're now going to delve a little deeper into reusing existing content. We're going to stay with our little metal sleeve that we used in the previous video, but we're in a different drawing. We're in a drawing called 8 Reusing Attributes Complete. If you want to follow along, it's the usual drill. You want to open up 8 Reusing Attributes.dwg. What we're going to look at now is applying attributes to an AutoCAD block and how to manage those attributes and actually make a new attribute as well. Then we'll insert a block and you'll see how those attributes are actually entered into the AutoCAD drawing itself. So what I've done is I've got the sleeve here, there it is there, made up from the polyline on layer 0 and the dashed lines on layer 0. And you'll see an attribute here which is the sleeve name attribute. And again, it's on layer 0. So how do you add another attribute to your AutoCAD block before you make it? So I'm going to go up to the Insert tab on the ribbon, into the Block Definition panel, and I want to go here, Define Attributes, like so. So if I click on Define Attributes there, like that, you'll see that the Attribute Definition dialog appears. Now, we're just going to go with Lock Position here, and what I want to do is just place another attribute. So it might be something like a serial number. So the tag name might be something like S, and then an underscore, and then NO for number, serial number. And then the prompt would be the actual physical prompt. So serial number, like so. This is what comes up. So I always put a question mark to make it into a question so that the user goes, I need to put the serial number in. And the default there might be something like, let's say, 00/11. That's just the default entry in the field. Now you'll notice that the text settings are set to the left-hand justification, and I've put a text style in there called attributes as well for you to use. Now the text height, I've left it at 10. It's not going to be annotative, and I'm going to specify the insertion point of the attribute on the screen. So I'll just click on OK now, and there it is there. Now you'll see it's come in on the current drafting layer, which is the sleeve layer. Don't worry about that. We can line that up in a minute. Now what I want to do is I want to line this up with the other attribute. So what I might do here is hold down Shift on the keyboard and right click. And I want to use the Insert Snap here, like so. And I'm going to hover over the Insert Snap there and place it dead on top of that one. Now the reason I've done that is quite clever. Just watch. I can now select that one there, and it's got the same grip position as the previous attribute. So I can now click on that grip, and using my polar tracking, if I keep that vertical, I know it's going to align with the attribute below. So I'll just bring that up to about there and click there. And then what I will do is go to the Home tab, and keeping it selected, go to my layers, and just make sure that that attribute is also on layer 0, like so. And then I'll just hit Escape there to deselect. So I've got my two attributes. There's my serial number and my sleeve name. So what I need to do now is change my layer to the sleeve layer, because I want the block to go onto the current drafting layer. And I'm going to create a new block. Now what I've done is I've purged out the old sleeve block in this drawing so we can call it sleeve again. So in the Home tab on the ribbon now, I'll go to the block panel and I'll go Create. So we'll call it sleeve again, like so. Pick point, I'll use the same pick point that I did in the previous video, that midpoint snap there. Now, when you're selecting the objects this time, you click here, Select Objects, but you select everything, including the attributes, because they want to be part of the block. Right-click or Enter to confirm, like we did in the previous video, and you'll see that we've now got 5 objects instead of the 3 that we had before. I'm going to go with the Convert to Block option and leave everything else as we did in the previous video. I'm not going to make any changes. I'm going to click on OK, and that is now my block. But now, because we have attributes, I can edit those attributes. So I can change the serial number there to, let's say, 77/55. And the sleeve name, well, we've got sleeve top. That'll do for now. I won't worry about editing that. When I click on OK, you'll see that those attributes update. Now, one of the nice things that we have in AutoCAD is if I go back to the Insert tab now and click on Manage Attributes, I can actually manage those attributes like so. So this is my Block Attribute Manager. So you can see, look, there's the block. It's the only block in the drawing. So as you can see, I can only select sleeve, but I can edit all of those bits of information there if I need to and synchronize them. So if I select that there, I can actually manage that attribute. I can move it down, I can move it up. So if I move that down and then OK it, that just moves it up and down in the attribute manager and just brings it up in the list. So if I wanted to edit that block now, if I double click on it, you'll see now if I come here in the enhanced attribute editor where I've double clicked on the block, can you see the sleeve name is now top of the list instead of the serial number? Now the good thing is in the enhanced attribute editor I can change the text options. So for example, properties, I might want that particular sleeve name to be, say, red instead of using the layer, or yellow perhaps. And I OK that and I can change the colours as well. So those attributes are fantastic if they're managed effectively. So that's how you put some attributes into a block, reuse those attributes in the block and edit them. So if I created a different block, I could go in and edit those attributes and have a different serial number, perhaps a different sleeve name as well. So practice, 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 creating blocks with attributes and see how those attributes work, ready for your professional certification exam.